Hi, I'm Steve Ryman, an advanced substance abuse counselor. My practice is in St. Louis and St. Charles, Missouri. I'd like to talk to you about a difficult topic, substance abuse in teens. First, I will identify behavior and then emotional characteristics to watch out for. Substance abuse is characterized by observable signs and symptoms. It should be noted that these signs and symptoms may be indicative of a problem if they represent significant change in the adolescent's behavior. Signs are not conclusive evidence that a substance abuse problem is present. However, collectively, they indicate that a further assessment is warranted. Behavioral characteristics associated with substance abuse. With any of the symptoms that I mentioned, this applies both to home and school. First of all, preoccupation with alcohol and drugs, mood changes, loss of ambition, deteriorating physical health and appearance, no longer obeying curfews or other house rules, parents unfamiliar with sons, daughters, friends, increased isolation and withdrawal from family and family activities, change in values, abrupt changes in school attendance, grades, discipline, unusual flare-ups or outbreaks of temper, withdrawal from responsibility, general changes in overall attitude, deterioration of physical appearance, image, and grooming, association with known substance abusers, change in friends and or hangouts, stealing of money or objects from friends, relatives, or parents, secretive and defensive behavior regarding actions and possessions, loss of interest in goals, activities, or hobbies, long periods of time spent in room or bathroom, and sudden unexplained amounts of money. With regards to emotional characteristics of substance abuser, the following should be noted. Beneath the outward hostile and defensive appearance is an overwhelming myriad of feelings and frustrations such as hopelessness, confusion, conflict in values, guilt, loss of self-esteem, dishonesty with parents, teachers, and peers, fear, anger, denial, inability to accept reality of drug use, exaggerated concerns about psychosocial development. The following are 12 basic facts about your teen that can help them and your family. Drug-dependent teens are ill, and their illness almost always affects their families. Parents can't control anybody but themselves. Parents have a right and responsibility to manage their homes the way they see best. In order to survive, they must set limits in their home. Dwelling on guilt or past failures only saps energy for current positive attitudes and actions. Parents do not choose to have their teen use drugs. It's useless to try to rescue or protect your teen who regularly gets into difficulties because of their own poor judgment or behavior. Teens who abuse drugs usually only desire to give up drugs when their use brings repeated pain and unpleasant results to themselves. Rescuing and protecting routines by parents and others only make teens more dependent, irresponsible, and resentful. It takes exercise and practice to become strong and skilled, especially when it comes to dealing with drug-related behavior. Reasoning, lecturing, scolding, and threatening are methods that seldom work with abusers. Words have little power against drugs. Accepting promises, excuses, or other manipulating behaviors from an abuser only encourages further abuse and denial. The key is to watch their actions, not their words. Love often requires a firmness that many parents find hard to deliver. Tough love is detaching yourself from the burdens of worry and responsibility you carry for an abuser. This is difficult to do and usually requires peer group and/or professional support. Parents need to set clear, firm guidelines about what is acceptable behavior in the home. Giving in to unreasonable demands only encourages bad behavior and more unreasonable demands. Your home and its atmosphere are yours. Never let them go. Parents can make treatment available to their teens. They can't force them to benefit from it. It's easy to get disillusioned in this process. Drug abusers sometimes take years to recover from their illness. Recovery is almost never immediate and almost always involves continuing daily process requiring a one-day-at-a-time philosophy on the part of all concerned. Hope, love, faith, and patience are as relevant today as ever, especially for parents. And lastly, setting limits is the key. The following focuses on prevention and further action for home and school. First, what a parent can do about teenage substance abuse, and this is prevention. Learn to communicate feelings early. Encourage your children to share their feelings. Try to be as open with yours. Teach your children responsibility early. Give them alternatives for decisions, keeping within the margins you set down. Affirm the good in your children. Criticizing the bad, but saying nothing about the good they can do can damage their self-image. Educate yourself about the current drug scene, what drugs are being used, what are the effects of various drugs, etc. Attend workshops and read materials relevant to this subject. Discuss the drug, alcohol abuse situation with your children. Give them straightforward information, share your feelings about substance abuse, and invite them to share their feelings. Let your children know that substance abuse is not a negotiable matter. Lay down the rules for them regarding substance abuse in your household. Speak with other parents about teenage substance abuse. Try especially to get together with the parents of your adolescents' friends. Examine your own use of alcohol and drugs and any patterns. What kind of role model are you? Carefully observe your children's growth. Be alert for early signs of drug use. Give them margins for spending money and partying. Secondly, if you suspect drug usage and/or know it exists, don't panic. Confront your child in a firm but caring manner, perhaps in a family meeting. Share with other family members behaviors that hurt you. If your child is into early usage, this kind of confrontation may turn the tide. If irresponsible behavior and additional signs of usage persist, ground him or her. Cut off visits from friends, monitor phone calls, search his or her room. Snooping is fair here, to be certain that nothing is stashed away. This will not make a hit with your children, but it shows them they will pay consequences for irresponsibility. Try to involve yourself in life-giving, creative ways with your child during the grounding period. Allow your teenager to suffer the consequences of his or her drug behavior. Don't enable by softening the harsh consequences. Find out if your school or community offers support groups or AA or Alateen meetings where teenagers talk about their usage and stay drug-free once they're treated. Encourage attendance at these meetings. Never give up on a young person. If after the above, your teenager moves back to old patterns of drug use, he or she may be unable to break out of this usage without help. I would be glad to assist in this process by providing an evaluation that can help determine the extent of usage. My phone number is 636-255-0699, and my email is stevereiman, STEVEREIMANN, one word, @yahoo.com. And lastly, I would note there is hope, but the keys are awareness, acceptance, and action. And thanks for your time.